As you guys know, Jason Whitlock recently produced a show a few days ago. He had on there Warren Sapp and a very interesting guest as well. He had on there Brett Favre. Brett Favre. If you guys know anything about Brett Favre, he was a very good quarterback during his playing days when he played for, I believe the Packers. Yes, the Green Bay Packers. But a few months ago, or less than a year ago, there was a story surrounding Brett Favre and funds that were being siphoned off from the poor and the underserved in a community. I forgot the place exactly. And according to reports, those funds are being used to build some gymnasium or something like that. And people actually got charged with this. Brett Favre's name was heavily involved in it. And people like Shannon Sharp and Pat McAfee actually called Brett Favre out, and Brett Favre threatened to sue them for defamation. And Pat McAfee basically said, go ahead. He said, because the operative word I'm using here is allegedly. Allegedly. That case went nowhere. So here we have a Jason Whitlock who was questioning Deion Sanders' masculinity, questioning his temperament, questioning his dressing choices, and also questioning his religious background. But there you were on a show, sitting right next to Brett Favre, who was accused of stealing from the poor. And you had no issue with being in his company. None whatsoever. Do you know that in certain places in the world, if people even hear that you were allegedly involved in a particular activity, they won't associate with you, period. But you had no issue sitting up there talking to Brett Favre. None whatsoever, given the allegation that was put out there. But when it comes to Deion Sanders, you have all of these things to say. Now, help me figure out, was Deion Sanders, any of this news surrounding him, are there any legal cases out for him? Does it have any legal ramifications for him? Or is it just about a guy talking his talk and coaching the football team? It's essentially about sports. The situation Brett Favre was in was a legal situation, which was very serious, and people were charged. I believe some people are even going to jail. If my memory serves me right, when I was reading about the case. But here you are, talking about Deion Sanders and talking about religion and talking about ethics and talking about virtue and talking about... Let me get to my other point. Hold on. Who made Jason Whitlock the arbiter over black people? Let me figure this out. Who made him the arbiter over blacks? Who? Help me figure. When was the election where it was said that Jason Whitlock is going to be the arbiter over black people and he's going to be the one to determine what type of behavior we need to have? When did that meeting take place? And when was the votes cast? Oh, that's right. It never happened. So what makes him think that his views about blacks need to matter? That's number one. Number two, and I've noticed this. And oh, by the way, if you feel offended or any kind of way, that is your bloody business. Someone asked me yesterday in the chat, why are you offended by this? I'm like, because I'm a black man. I thought this would be obvious to you. If I knew your ethnicity, I would ask you, if someone was constantly talking about your ethnic group like this, wouldn't you feel offended? Why are you asking me that question? It's almost as if you're telling me how I need to be reacting. I don't go around telling people how they need to react to issues pertaining to their community. I never do that. I don't tell Italians or Germans or Mexicans or whoever it is, why are you getting offended? Why are you feeling this way? It's not my bloody place. If they want to feel offended, it's about them because they're talking about them. Why would I feel the need to question them on that? Number one. Number two, what I've noticed about Jason is that, yes, he makes valid points, but his coverage of blacks always seems to be negative, and that's where you lose me. That's where you lose me. It can't be that everything you say is always negative. Do you know why? Because if that's the case, it means that you only view blacks through a negative prism. And the question then becomes, why? Why? What happened? What happened? What happened? Number one. Number two, why would you have other people from other background or other groups coming on your show to talk about the issues about blacks? I'm trying to figure this out. Why would you do that? Why would you do this? Why? Why are you inviting them to talk about your issues? Why are you doing that? Isn't it better you go solve your own issues? It's almost as if you're doing it because you feel like, oh, there are people that love this, so let me do it. Why are you doing this? No one will accuse me of race baiting because we barely talk about race. The irony is there are people out there that actually complain about, oh my God, there's too much race in politics, in sports, but yet that's all they talk about. That's all they talk about. Every single video is either a racial angle or a political angle. And these are the same people running around talking about, oh my God, let me tell you, this is the reason why I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican. Y'all both be playing games. The both of y'all. Don't spit in my face and tell me it's raining. The both of y'all. Jason Whitlock is a conservative, whatever the hell you want to call him. And he's playing that game and thinks people are stupid, like we don't see through it. This is stupidity. Why are you doing this? This is the reason I don't get into politics. People are full of it.